are both heading to New York City and Shanksville, Pennsylvania today to mark 23 years since the 9/11 terror attacks. President Biden and Harris will travel to Ground Zero later today before heading to Shanksville to remember the victims on Flight 93 before attending an event at the Pentagon. The former president will also visit the 9/11 memorial and a fire station in New York City before heading to the Flight 93 memorial in Shanksville. And as we remember the nearly 3,000 lives lost, we also honor the heroes who did everything they could to save people trying to escape the towers as they fell to the ground.
That includes our next guest, who started his shift as a New York waterway ferry captain and went on to help lead the largest maritime evacuation in American history, shuttling thousands of people from Ground Zero across the Hudson to safety in New Jersey. Captain Rick Thornton joins us now. Captain, thank you so much for being here. Walk us through your heroic actions on that fateful day.
Well, thank you very much for having me. New York Waterway was operating its normal schedule, which was boats straight across from the Hoboken terminal to World Financial Center, which is at the base of the World Trade Centers, as well as a Weehawken to Midtown runs as well. As soon as the first plane struck the first tower, we thought, like everybody else, it was a tragic accident, and we didn't have smartphones or anything like that, so we didn't get a lot of information. We just saw the smoke pouring out of the first tower at 8:46. At 9:03, when the second plane struck the second tower, we knew it was some sort of concerted, coordinated attack, and that's when the entire fleet was mobilized. We sent 30 boats down to the World Financial Center area because that was the most immediate place that needed evacuation. The people from not just the towers, but all the surrounding buildings were streaming out of the buildings and then collecting along the waterfront, and some of them were just running in any direction, so some of them were trapped right along the Battery Park seawall in the park, and some of them, there was just sheer terror in their eyes. They were actually climbing over the rail, and some of them were jumping into the river and starting to swim out. So our ferries were extremely busy, and we were just picking up people from every imaginable part, not just ferry terminals, but even along the seawall, and pulling people out of the water as well.
Pulling people out of the water and those ferry terminals, and you made about 20 back and forth trips to and from New Jersey to get people out of the danger zone. What were you thinking as this was happening?
Well, at first we were thinking, what could happen next, because, the towers had been hit. Later on, we had found out about the Pentagon being hit as well, and we didn't have any information at the time, to flesh out, the magnitude of this event. But as trained ferryboat crews, we did what we do, was getting people from point A to point B, and it was just an accelerated, type of event. Yep. And we were just really, really busy. The Coast Guard, the Harbor Police, the Fire Department, everybody jumped in. They put out the call for all available boats on the marine radios, and that's when you saw this whole flotilla of vessels coming up the river.
But it's important to note that you headed down there before the all call was issued. Why? Why was that your instinct when you saw this to say, this is really, really bad, I need to get my boat down there?
Well, as soon as that second plane hit, we realized what was happening. It was something of a coordinated attack. And I was still working at the ferry in '93 when the World Trade Center was hit as well. So I knew how we had sent all our boats down to that area in '93. Without thinking, I just took the boat offline from the Weehawken to 39th Street Run and headed down to the Hoboken to Battery Park City operation. So I always tell myself I stole the boat. I didn't check in with the boss.
Yeah, we saw that.